Hello everyone, there's going to be a new episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I believe airing this Tuesday the 7th, so it's time for me to make a video about the mid-season finale from mid-December. Been a few weeks, so hopefully you've caught it. If you haven't, please do so, because I'm going to be discussing it in full. Spoilers will abound, just so you know. I'm not sure how long the season is in total, the entire season for the year, so I'm thinking there could be as many as 12 episodes left to go, because only 10 have aired so far, if it's a standard 22-episode order from ABC. One of the complaints that I've read about this show so far is the rather episodic nature of the episodes. The individual villains and adversaries to tackle one per episode don't inspire confidence, because the overarching storyline involving Centipede and the nature of Coulson's recovery has been, just teased a lot, and that some people find that frustrating. I think we're going to find that those secrets and other revelations will be bountiful in the second half. They really seem to be gearing up for that with this most recent episode, which was called The Bridge. Again, beware, spoilers. So at the beginning of the episode, we have the fella who is in prison and was visited by Ming-Na, the woman in the flower dress, the Centipede recruiter. In a previous episode, he gets busted out by the Centipede super soldiers who wear the implants for enhanced strength for short periods of time. And so Coulson recruits Mike Peterson from the first episode, who was one of their initial test subjects, to join them and help them deal with these guys. Mike Peterson has stabilized due to the night-night gun. He was shot by Ward with a special device that Fitz and Simmons created, to subdue people, and that leveled him out and prevented him from exploding and taking out a mile's worth of, real estate and what have you, plus lots of people. So he seems to be doing better. He's been hanging out at a training facility for S.H.I.E.L.D., just keeping up his strength and just working on his fighting skills and what have you. Probably my favorite line in the whole episode is at the beginning. He's basically doing what football players do. They basically run at an obstacle and then push it, a heavy obstacle, down the field, and what he's pushing is a bulldozer. So when Coulson says to him, if you could put that bulldozer back where you found it, we need you to come with us. That's a good one. There's shout-outs to both Captain America and Thor during the episode, as well as, of course, as a mention of Coulson's fatal injury at the hands of Loki. So, plenty of Avengers movie callbacks there. Edison Poe is the guy who was broken out of prison, and once they do that, he joins Raina and the other Centipede soldiers at a temporary facility, a warehouse, where the bad guys rest up after they have exerted themselves. There's this line. He says something. Whose line was this? Ward says something about, I don't play well with others. I think that's his line to Agent May. And just like, or maybe she says, you don't play well with others because I read your file. That's like straight out of the Avengers. Tony Stark's like, apparently I don't play well with others. And Gwyneth Paltrow goes, yeah, I knew that. Anyway, so they're, once they find out about the jailbreak, they're, after those guys, and they're trying to figure out where they came from and how to get back in touch with them. And they hit upon the idea of, let's see now, how do they get a hold of, they use facial recognition in the prison break to identify one of the super soldiers. They contact his sister, they tell her that her brother has won the lottery, and so he needs to get in touch with them. And of course, so she calls up she denies having any contact with her brother, but she calls him up right away, and of course they're tracing the call, so they find out the warehouse, but it turns out the entire thing is a trap. Now, what I'm wondering is exactly how was it they strategized by this? Did they think, gee, S.H.I.E.L.D. is after us, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait for one of their agents to contact us and then play along and then let them trace the call so they can find us so we can attack them? That's a little crazy. I'm not sure I really buy into that. That's a very, very tentative strategy. It really doesn't make a lot of sense that they would just sort of sit back and wait for them to contact them rather than be a little bit more proactive. Once they contacted them, of course, everything worked out great for the Centipede guys because they got the S.H.I.E.L.D. guys on the ropes. But then, of course, during the whole fight in the warehouse, one of the guys gets blasted by his eyepiece and like, oh, check this out. The guys who developed the Centipede technology also developed the eye implants that feeds instructions to the wearer and of course explodes if you misbehave from the I.Spy episode, the former agent, that really cool thing that happened there. Coulson has a really interesting line. It says their tech keeps advancing at a disturbingly rapid pace. They have huge amounts of resources, it seems, and people working around the clock to develop this technology. Who could this be? Who are these people? Crazy, crazy. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. The clairvoyant, they theorize, they're talking about this character named the clairvoyant, and they theorize that this guy is actually funding the operation. For whatever reason that they call him that, he is the man that's, he's the money. He's the guy who's funding everything. So there's that. And then, of course, once they use the eye technology to identify Peterson as working with Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D., they say, well, this is what we need. This is the guy that we need. But they're not talking about Peterson, of course. So at the end of the episode, you find out that the person they really want is Coulson because of what happened to him after he died and how he was brought back and everything like that. There's a couple of key lines in the episode that I noticed when I rewatched it. The character of Edison Poe, he is talking about... Right, he's talking about the fact that they're looking for the key to stage 3 in their super soldier program. And he's, Mike Peterson, when they refer to Mike Peterson, they're saying, okay, here's this guy, and he's got the Centipede technology, and they're saying, well, he's got the key to stage 3, but they're not talking about what's in his body. They're talking about the fact that he's standing right next to Coulson on camera. They know somehow that what has happened with Coulson, and I don't know how that is exactly, but that is the whole thing with their plan. And when they contact him later on, they say, we don't want you, we want Coulson, we need you to lie to Coulson, tell him you're going to exchange yourself for your son, whom we have kidnapped, but really you're going to trade Coulson for your son. And so this all ends badly for everyone involved on the S.H.I.E.L.D. side. The kid is okay, but it seems as though Peterson was killed in the explosion on the bridge during the exchange. Ward got shot as the helicopter flew away. Who knows how badly hurt he is. And of course Coulson is now in the hands of the Centipede guys. So that's not a good thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, during their fight, Ward and May have a little exchange. And it seems that Coulson gets the idea that they have a more intimate relationship than officially stated, because later on in the car he talks about how they have to sort of separate, the two lives basically that they chose. When he's talking with Ward about the cellist that of course is mentioned in the Avengers as someone he has a relationship with. Ward says, do you know where she is now? And he says, of course I do, but of course I can't contact her. The Avengers think I've died, and so it's best that as many people as possible think that I've died, other than other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are supposed to be in the know. Oh, by the way, if you're going to masquerade as someone who's trying to contact someone about a lottery, it's best that you not then immediately leave that person and go and get in the car with another dude, which is a big, bright red Jaguar convertible, or whatever the car is. I can't remember the make of the car exactly. I think it's oh yeah, Lola. That's right, Lola. That's the name of the car with the extra gadgets on it. But it's a little bit conspicuous. And he says we need to inspire suspicion, in her, so she'll contact her brother. But I'm just like, I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Am I jumping around a little bit too much? Sorry about that. Okay, so. Let's see. Guy's a walking mudshot. That was kind of a cool line. Oh, Mike Peterson, after he pushes the bulldozer, he's like, did I beat Captain America's time? And the trainer's like, not even close. I was like, oh, that's a shame. Let's see. There were a couple of incidents that I thought was really weird, that they were going to have one of those comical cutaways where it's just like, okay, we're going to get ready, we're going to go in there, and we're going to take action. There's a cut to the next scene, and they're sitting around in some sort of goofy position for comic effects. And I thought that was going to happen on at least 2 different occasions, but it didn't. The music sort of seemed to suggest a building up and then sort of a comedic punchline, if you will, but that didn't take place. The bad Centipede agents have way more implants at this point than Peterson. He's got one on his arm right here, on his left arm, and they've got them all over their arms, their back, their chest, everything like that. You know, they're covered in the stuff. Let's see here. You need to think about him before you make your... Oh, yeah, that's right. This is a line that Coulson has about when he's talking with Mike Peterson about his son and how he really ought to go and see his son, even though the last time his son saw him, he was ripping a train station apart. And he says, well, you can't fix that if you're just sitting around here. You need to go and see him. You need to think about him before you make your choice, whatever the choice is, basically, choosing the life of being an agent and doing all this covert stuff, or having the home life, the PTA meetings, what have you. And unfortunately, Coulson encourages him to basically, encourages Mike Peterson to hand Coulson over, because that's the choice that Mike Peterson's going to make. He's going to choose his son over Coulson. Right before the try the exchange, Coulson is talking about how it's all going to go down with May, and May says, I don't like any of this. And I thought for a second, oh wait, we're going to have the Joss Whedon line that appears in both Speed and Alien Resurrection when somebody says, I don't like this, or I don't like it, and the response is, what's to like? And Coulson instead says, there'd be something wrong with you if you did, so I'm glad that wasn't... This episode wasn't written by either of the Whedons or directed by Joss or anyone else. I don't know the people I don't recognize the names of the writers and directors of this episode. Gunn. Gunn is the name of the character that... darn it. Why can't I remember this guy's name? I'm sorry, I knew it before, but I just... I know that it's J. August Richards, that's right, I had it written down here somewhere. J. August Richards played Gunn, of course, on Angel, and he's playing Mike Peterson. That's all I've got to say about the bridge for now, I guess. Sorry this was a little rambly, I just finished rewatching it, and I'm going over my notes here. But yeah, so look for lots more active pursuing of Centipede, and trying to rescue Coulson, and taking care of Ward, and what have you, in the new episodes. Yeah. They're probably going to stay focused on this for the second half of the season, and very little of those. Well, we're going to deal with this new person and with the interesting abilities or powers or whatever for this episode, and then forget about them for the rest of the season. I don't think we'll see nearly as much of that going forward. New Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes. I'm excited for that. That's great. And of course, there'll be Marvel movies coming out, and they're going to start shooting the Avengers Part 2 very, very soon. So... still another year and a half to go before that one comes out. But you know me, I'm loving the Joss Whedon stuff. So hopefully you'll all enjoy them as well. Not just my videos, but the episodes, of course. That's the important part, that we enjoy the episodes. Enjoying my videos is not mandatory. Thank you. Talk to you again soon. Bye.